Well, this next section here on organized planning is so important that I'm actually going to break it up into two pieces, so we don't get just one long module here. So again, planning is very important. We talked about all the other steps, and it seems every time I get to a new step, it's the most important. Well, again, planning's right up there with the specialized knowledge and all the other things we've been talking about. There's an old saying: people don't plan to fail; they just fail to plan. Well, that is really true, and Napoleon Hill talks about that a lot here in this chapter. We've referenced it before, but we're going to focus on it a little bit here. Now, in quote there, the capitalism reference is Napoleon Hill back in the 1930s was really strong and on capitalism as opposed to communism and socialism, and he's got lots of commentary in this book referencing that. Now, I'm going to stay away from the politics of that. This has actually kind of become trendy right now with some of the things going on in the country, but I'm going to avoid all that so we don't focus on that. But I just highlighted here because, again, he talks about it quite a bit. Now, again, we'll deal with this a little more here. It gives 4 steps here. One of the themes that he has is the idea of a mastermind group, like-minded people that he would like you, he thinks an ideal way for you to plan to accomplish your goals. He's a big fan of putting together a group of people with who have a similar mindset, organize the group to help. The old 2 heads are better than one as you are going about accomplishing your tasks and objectives. He thinks it's a good idea, and I do as well, that you have some kind of a mastermind group that you have organized. And again, we will talk about that later as well. 2, to make this work, there's got to be benefits for everybody. You don't want to just bring in somebody and suck them dry. There's got to be something for everybody in the group, some way for everybody to benefit. So work that out with the members of the group. You want to meet twice a week. Now it's pretty easy. You can do a Zoom call. Everybody's meeting online. It should be pretty easy for you to have your group get together. Twice a week is ideal. Once a week would be acceptable. And then you have to make sure it's a harmonious group. Lay down some rules about everybody's positive and no negative, nobody personal attacks. You don't tell people their idea is dumb, even if it is, all that sort of thing. So, but don't worry about that. We will get to more on that later. Okay, here I'm going to give you a planning system. If you get this, it will change your life. The planning system is the PDCA. This crops up several times. I bring this up throughout this program. And the reason for that is repetition is good, and it is so important. So first, you develop the plan. We know you're supposed to. Now you develop the plan. Implement the plan. This is the action part. Do what you say you're going to do. See if it works. And here's where the real power comes from. This is the check. See if it works. If not, you don't quit. You change the plan. Then you redo it. You implement again. And you keep continuing that process until ultimately the plan works. So develop the plan, do it, check to see how it's doing, inspect what you expect, and evaluate. Is it working or not? And if not, you adjust the plan. And you keep doing that process until you succeed. This works in almost everything of every area of your life. You ought to, until this is ingrained in your psychology, you ought to carry around a 3x5 card with the PDCA, and you are always implementing that and your business life, your personal life, working, dealing with your children, coworkers. It is extremely powerful. Now, remember, you are going to fail on some of these things. It's temporary. It is expected that most of the time it's not going to work. So you will be changing, checking, and adjusting on a regular basis. It's highly unusual for you to just plan, do it, and it works. And things where that happens probably tells me it wasn't much of a goal if it was that easy to do. So you have to persist until you're successful. That is a big theme in all of the Napoleon Hill material. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. It's a very popular quote. Be a leader, not a follower. Now, that doesn't mean you can't follow. You can be a follower in lots of areas and a leader in some. And most leaders started as a follower. That's where you learn, if you're intelligent about it, be an intelligent follower for a while. Some of the leadership characteristics then he goes into. This is, by the way, ideal for a career development program. If you want to get good and move through the ranks of your job and career to get to the top of the food chain, this is a roadmap that can help you in putting together a plan. So here are some of the things he talks about. You need unwavering courage because you're going to be forcing yourself to do things you're afraid of. I can't tell you how many times I've been scared to death. Everybody thinks, for example, that I'm a good public speaker and, I must like to do that. I am terrified anytime I have to do a public speaking. I still get nervous going into a classroom and talking to a group of undergrads. And I've been doing that for 35 plus years. And it's still, remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is you're afraid of something, but you do it anyway. That's what courage is. A lot of people that you think are brave and courageous are scared to death. They're just as afraid to do the stuff as you are, but they do it anyway. And public speaking is a good example because so many people are afraid of it and they don't want to do it. Well, if you want to move up in your career, learning to talk in front of groups of people is pretty much mandatory. And you're just going to have to do it. So get over it, conquer the fear by doing it. Self-control, again, they're not crazy. They don't lose their temper and berate people and yell at people. They have good personal habits. They have a sense of fairness, sense of justice. They're good at making decisions. They don't waffle back and forth. They don't leave it to somebody else to call the shot. They make a decision and live with the results. They have definite plans, which is sort of a theme in this chapter. They do more. You want to make it move faster in your organization, do more than you're being paid for. A lot of people just, I'm not going to do that. They don't pay me to do that. Well, that's why you're getting paid what you're getting paid. You make more money by doing more than you are paid for. It's an important leadership characteristic that'll help your career enormously. Being nice, having a nice personality. Most successful leaders, not all, but most, have a good personality. They smile, they're friendly, they get along with people. They have some people skills. They do not just run roughshod over other people. Now, again, there are exceptions to this, and I won't go into at this stage, but there clearly are. But you want to be a nice person. So let's go with that. They have sympathy for people, empathy. They relate to other people. That's all part of the people skills. The successful leaders master the details. They know how things work. They don't just give it to somebody. I give my subordinate a command, so to speak, and tell them to figure it out. Now, in a perfect world, I would love that. But again, most leaders know you have to know the details as well. You don't get bogged down in them, but you tend to know the details. Um, you assume responsibility and no excuses. This is, if it goes bad, I'm taking the hit. Even though it was my assistant who screwed it up, I'm not going to blame him or her. I am going to accept, yep, I know we should have called you. We didn't. I don't want to say, well, yeah, my secretary didn't call. It's her fault. No, I'm just going to say, sorry, apologize. That should be on this list, actually. Apologize. Leaders are willing to say they're sorry, but that's a little value added here. Cooperation. Leaders are cooperative. They try to, you want to be the solution to your boss's problems. You want to help them get what they want. That's all part of cooperation. Leaders are confident. They believe they can do it, as opposed to, again, I don't think I can. I know I can. Confidence. A good example of confidence is, the negative of confidence is arrogance. You want to be confident up to the point where you become arrogant and then tone it back to just confident. So that's a good way to kind of think about that. And they're determined to succeed. Goes back to the persistence element. And on that note, we will take sort of the second part of this chapter and we will do it in a separate module.